I'm going to read this again. Isaiah chapter 19 and 2. It reads, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." So, of course, the climax is World War III, which is really Edom going to take out Edom. That's why we read in Revelation the 13th chapter talks about the feet of the bear, which are concerning the Russians. They're going to spearhead, the violent overthrow of America. But in that's what's going to cause them to fall as well, because it's World War III is going to be mutually assured destruction. See, nobody ain't going to be able to pick up the pieces when the smoke clear and the dust settles. Yahweh Shai and the elect, will be the rulers, and then the next system will be set up, So, of course, the climax is World War III. But as you can see, the Lord said they're going to fight everyone against his brother and against his neighbors. So you have the Republicans against the Republicans. These supposed to be so-called brothers. They standing on the same business. They have the same so-called standard. But now the Lord calls what was the fracturing and what was the other word they used? Infighting, because of the issues that will arise in certain scenarios, which ultimately involving the tiny hats. So we know that the house of Edom is about to fall. Everything is not even up to code when it was built from the jump. That's why the scripture talks about who woe unto him that built a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. This nigga, the house ain't even up to code using, you got to use certain wood, pressure type wood for certain, the dimensions have to be right. And this nigga built everything, totally contrary what's acceptable unto the Lord. So this is Yahweh Shema Shai evicting this man. That house is condemned. The house got all the mildew and shit in it. Even the scripture speaks on it. The house with mold, and that's America. And that's this system, this age as a whole, from the minds of the people to the infrastructure, the roads and shit. You got concrete everywhere. All this shit got to be rooted up, man. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 12. In verse 25, it reads, "And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation." So we're seeing this play out in real time. Even back then in Rome, it was a countdown. Them niggas were killing each other. You even had the year of the four Caesars. Like, them niggas were just being knocked off back to back, man. It wasn't no stability. And that's what we're seeing today. This place ain't stable. These people ain't seeing eye to eye. And you see the people are complaining. And then, especially nowadays, it don't take that much for these people to lose it. A nigga internet can be out for 20 minutes. And he'll lose it because he can't get back on, play the game online. He had to forfeit that Madden match because the Wi-Fi went out. And a nigga could potentially kill his parents because the internet ain't on fast enough. Which is cases on that. So this place is really on the brink. Because even the rulers themselves, they're not even in agreement. It says, "In every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." So, what's that? Babylon the Great, that great city, as well as the house of Edom, it's the same thing. It's not going to stand. We seeing that the Edomite structure has failed. As I mentioned earlier in the spirit, it's not up to code. The roof sagging, floor shit buckling up. The door can't close all the way. Everything fucked up. That's why you got World War III to be this hard reset. It's going to be like the Lord, giving this place a detox. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? and that's what happened even with this race in Kentucky, the primaries. Tommy Massey and this guy Ed Gaudron, or whatever his name was, these were two Republicans, and them niggas dropped the bag on to try to get rid of Massey. The numbers are out there, so that show you they supposed to be two Republicans. They supposed to have the same principles and stand on the same business. Yet you have one side, exhausting a lot of resources to get rid of the other because of certain rising issues. Because they didn't vote on the same thing. He probably voted yes on this and voted no on the other shit. But that's what all these devils, they all are not in agreement. Let's show you that this, this devil is not stable. And we can see that even that spirit of a civil war, ain't no coincidence they call it a MAGA civil war. Because that's, the spirit where you can see it manifesting physically. These people actually going at each other's throats. And it is because, the lack of food and water is going to contribute to it as well. And as we read in Isaiah the 19th chapter, scripture says the Lord, he gonna set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And the ingredients are there for them to be against each other. So matter of fact, I'm gonna end off on this. Let's get this in the book of, let's see if I can find the book of 1 Samuel 14. Because it's really the Lord putting the spirit on them to go at it against each other. So, I just get straight to the point in the book of 1 Samuel 14 and 18. And this was concerning, the battle against the Philistines. And, You had Jonathan. He had went forth earlier. You going to, I believe they would go ahead and get, getting their feet wet, getting their hands dirty in a sense. Getting at those Philistines. But the Lord is gonna put the spirit on these for them to take themselves out, just like how these devils do when they drop guns in the street, in your neighborhoods, and drugs, and then just let go and will really just put it on cruise control and destroy themselves. Well, that's what Yahweh Shai doing with these Edomites. He gave these niggas the understanding of the missiles, and now these certain key issues coming up, and these niggas gonna end up just destroying themselves. They got everybody's armed, and the Lord set up to where these devils really is gonna destroy themselves, man. And it's starting now. We actually witnessing the destruction now. This place is being destructured. So the 1 Samuel 14 and start at 18. And reason Saul said unto Ahiah, bring hither the ark of the Most High, for the ark of the Most High was at the time with the children of Israel. And it came to pass while Saul talked unto the priest that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thine hand. Yeah, because he asked for the ark because they about to go on to battle. But he heard the noise of the host of the Philistines. It said, and Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfiture. See, so they was killing each other. Those Philistines were going at it with each other. The Lord put a spirit on them to where they was killing each other. So that's what the Lord is doing now. Yahweh Shai put the spirit on these devils to discomfort. Because Scripture even talks about how they shall all have swords in their hands and take the power to themselves. See, that is everything is now coming into its full, and it's becoming clearer and clearer. And ultimately, to sum it up, to get to the end of the movie, is going to lead to America being destroyed. And this devil ain't gonna be able to rebuild after. That's why all this is going on now. This nigga ain't gonna be able to have an alliance. Nigga come up with some type of game plan to get the ball back rolling. Like a generator. You know how the lights come off and a generator come. No, that shit gonna be dead, man. So that's why, the Lord divine this devil, economic structure. It just ain't gonna go well with him at the end. So yeah, I might just hope this will edify. I like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the elect. This teaching is rooted in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.